live at the beach. I've just done, I've got 2.5 Ks left to go. Actually, no, 1.5 Ks left to go. And then I've done 9 Ks for my friend Esther. Today is the 10th of September here in Australia. It is 6 p.m. at night, and I've just walked with Esther's husband. And I thought we did 9 Ks, but we didn't. He's gone. But I looked at my stats and I've only done 7.5. So I just need to do 1.5 more Ks. So I thought I'd take you for the walk with me. So today is World Suicide Prevention Day all around the world. So the 10th of September is recognised as World Suicide Prevention Day. And my friend Esther, in November, would have been 4 years since she'd been taken. So I walk for purpose, I walk for Esther. I recently did a 30-kilometre walk for Beyond Blue to raise funds for them, for mental health. And Lifeline are a big organisation here in Australia that have a 24-hour hotline, and they have kind of a challenge that you can either walk 9 kilometres in the week, or you could do 9 kilometres in the day, meaning today, to represent the 9 people that take their life a day in Australia, which is 63 people a week. That stat's probably a little bit old from a couple of years ago, but they still use the 9 Ks, 9 people. So each year I do this walk in remembrance of my friend Esther, and I ask her husband if he'd like to walk with me, and he says, thanks for asking, but no, not this year. But he said, keep on asking me. So I asked him last week, I said, hey, next Wednesday afternoon, do you want to walk 9 kilometres with me for Esther? And he goes, yeah, okay. So there's been tears, there's been smiles. It's good to catch up with him. He's getting on with his life. He misses, Esther a lot. But, the mental health that she struggled with affected him. And, he's on the other side of it. But, he misses her dearly. And that's unfortunately why we're walking today, right? So I've got a 1.5 Ks left to do. Not that long. We're at Redcliffe Beach. This is Redcliffe. I normally walk here at sunrise. Jumping out here, you see the sunrise. But tonight I'm walking just on the path. There's a few people around, so I won't be putting the camera in anyone's face. So I'm just going to have a bit of a chat and, just bring awareness to the cause, because, prevention is definitely a better way to look at it. A lot of people are suffering from mental health these days, like my friend Esther. And hi, Dad. Mental health in some countries is not recognised. My friend Esther was from Malaysia. In Malaysia, mental health is not recognised. Her family just said, look, get over it. She was in quite a traumatic marriage. There was some abuse, physical, mental abuse, and she managed to divorce him after having 3 children with him, and she was left with quite a lot of trauma from that relationship that she probably needed help with, right? But in Malaysia, there is no such thing as help for mental health. So she eventually married another guy, an Australian guy, came to Australia, brought her daughter with her, but that trauma is still there, right? It still haunted her. So, yeah, that's why my friend is not here anymore. She decided to do something about that trauma. And I had to go say goodbye to her at the hospital. That's one of the worst things I've had to do, is to say goodbye to a friend lying in a hospital bed, attached to, all these ventilators keeping her alive. knowing that the next day they were going to turn the machine off, and yeah, she passed away, right? So she was brain dead, but they kept her on the machine for 6 days just in hope that maybe a miracle would happen, right? So, yeah. So tonight, it's really important that I do this 9 kilometres just out of respect for my friend, out of respect to who knows who in this world, right? Just talking about mental health might, I don't know, help someone else. I just think in the world that mental health is getting worse and worse. At least in Australia, I know that, Lifeline, who I'm doing this challenge with today, they have a 24-hour hotline. So if you're in Australia and you're having suicidal thoughts or deciding to do something silly, right, that you can ring that number. It's free of charge, and a counsellor will be on the other side of the phone and they will talk to you. So I think that's really important. And, a lot of people don't reach out for help. Esther didn't reach out for help. But everyone, or not everyone, but I knew that she was suffering. There were times that she'd call me. She was abusing alcohol, which is not a great combination when you're also already suffering from mental health and then you add alcohol to it. But we're going to walk for I guess we're going to walk for 750 metres and then walk back 750 metres back to my car. Now, I don't exactly know when that 750 metres will be, but we'll just make it up. Because it's just important for me to know that I've done the 9Ks for Esther. And I've talked about Esther. It was nice to talk to her husband and catch up with him, see how he's going. And talk about stories of my friend Esther. They used to go camping a lot together and they used to go fishing. Yeah, she loved seafood. So her husband had a boat. Well, they had a boat and they'd go out in the boat, go fishing. She'd catch fish. He'd catch fish. They'd take them home and cook fresh fish. That was her favourite thing. I took her out for her birthday one year. We went to a Korean restaurant and she's like, "Do you mind if I have fish?" I'm like, "Sure, have fish." She just loved fish. She loved fresh seafood. I mean, I do too, but it's just something that she absolutely loved it. So it was nice to talk about her, and even though someone's not here anymore, it's going to be 4 years in November, but at least we can still talk about her. I think that's important. I've had quite a few tears today already, and it was nice to just finish the day having a walk with Esther's husband, having a few hugs. He's a good guy. But, it's not just about the person that commits suicide, it's also the people that are left behind, right? The trauma of that. So, I always do check on her husband to make sure that he's okay. So that's me, I'm Dora, just finishing off a 9-kilometre walk for Lifeline here in Australia, where basically today is World Suicide Prevention Day around the world, the 10th of September. And obviously we're Wednesday night here. And I went for a walk with my friend Esther's husband. He's now a widow. Esther left us nearly 4 years ago through suicide. And it's nice to remember her today. I mean, it's not like, it's a celebration, right? Definitely not a celebration. A somber kind of, remembrance that, if there was maybe more help, or if we did this or we did that, I often think, could have I done something better? Could I, there was many times that she rang me hysterically crying, drunk, unfortunately. I'd go pick her up. She'd had a fight with her husband and, hated the world basically. And I would literally just take her to the beach and she cried uncontrollably while I hugged her. That's all I could do. I'm not equipped to know what to do, right? I don't have regrets like, I should have done this, I should have done that. But, I wish she was here, right? But she's not. And a day like this, every year, to remember that, suicide is happening. Well, then we don't need to remember, do we? But to remember that, there are organisations that can help if you're having a bad moment, or, things just look so bad that you just don't think there's an answer out of that situation. There are, I know it's hard to get counsellors and psychiatrists and stuff like that. I get that. And counselling costs money, right? But there are hotlines. I know in Australia there is a 1-800 number for Lifeline. You can easily Google it and it'll come straight up, 1-800. And it's you can ring it from a phone box, and a trained professional will be on the other end of the phone to help you. All right, well, I think, have we gone okay? I reckon we're done okay. So if we go back the other way, we just need to do 1.5 Ks, and then we've done our 9 Ks for Esther. Walking for purpose. We're at Margate Beach in Redcliffe in southeast Queensland in Australia. It's a beautiful sound of the ocean. Or it's a bay really. There's an island out in front of the water there. So we've got Moreton Bay and then there's Moreton Island across from that. It's nice to have friends, but there are people out there that don't have friends and are going through a hard time. And I just think it's wonderful that there's organisations out there that will talk to you. I don't know about other countries. Obviously I'm in Australia, so I don't know about other countries. I'm just talking about Australia right now. But yeah, Lifeline do an amazing service. And this is not the first time I've done this walk. I've done it for the last couple of years in Esther's name. And I'll keep doing it. And I'll keep talking about Esther because it's really, really sad that she didn't get help in Malaysia when she suffered trauma, because if maybe she had some help when she was living in Malaysia, some support over the trauma that she went through in her marriage, maybe she wouldn't have come to Australia so broken and done what she did. But, we can't look back now. Today's today, right? We can only look for the future. And, I just hope that if anyone needed, they got to that moment, that they can reach out to a friend, family, an organisation to get support. And I also, hope for my future too. Like, who's to say that I don't develop a mental health condition? No one knows what's around the corner. And, some mental health can just come on someone, right? It doesn't have to be acquired from a traumatic situation. Drugs, alcohol can cause mental health. Too much stress can cause mental health. So I do this also for myself. Like, one day that I might need support with mental health, and that I remember that there's a 1-800 number, lifeline to call. But when you're in that kind of mode of desperateness, my God, you're desperate, right? You probably don't sometimes think clearly. And maybe that's what happened to my friend Esther. Mind you, there was also alcohol involved. So, add alcohol, drugs, medication, never a nice mix. So, yeah. So today, I just want to bring awareness, document this day. I don't just document this to talk to random strangers that I seem to be talking to right this minute. But, I watch my videos back every now and then. I'm not saying I'll watch all my lives, but, I will earmark this one, Walking for Purpose for Esther, and I'll be able to watch this back and remember, I went for a walk with my friend, her husband, and that's quite symbolic that this is the first walk he's done with me. And when we said goodbye, he said, "Thanks for the walk for Esther." So, it's kind of beautiful. She can't be here today, right? At least we were able to walk for her, and she knows that we're loved. I don't know where, we go when we're not here anymore, right? It's nice to think that heaven is this beautiful place with pearly gates or we're reincarnated, right? Oh, look at this. You are amazing. Can you read that? See? You are amazing. Oh, thank you, stranger. But, who knows where we go after death, right? I like to think that I have an angel called... Oh, look at this one says here, keep going. Keep going. What's this one say? Pat 300. I don't know what that means, but anyway. Andrea, go. Oh, Andrea. Oh, I think that's something from the... on the weekend they had Park Life, and there was a lot of people that had done milestone walks, like 500 park runs. I'm sidetracked. So I was just talking about, where we go, right? I don't know where we go, right? No one knows that. But I always like to think that Esther is like my little angel on my shoulder.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Keeping me safe and egging me on to all my crazy adventures. And it's a nice thought, right? So yeah, I'll continue doing all these walks. There's another walk I'll do. It's a 5K walk. It's called, I think the company's called Mental Health Association, but they're a good organisation. They get a lot of guys involved because mental health affects a lot of guys these days. It's not just women. Guys seem to bottle things up a lot. So they try to get a lot of footballers into the kind of group. Like there's a lot of, anyway, on the day that we walk 5Ks at a particular area in the city. They have a couple of the Broncos involved. Yeah, so anyway, as I said, I won't stop walking for Esther. I won't stop talking about what happened to her. And the killer, right, the actual kicker is that once she passed away, her family told her friends and the other extended family that she passed away from an aneurysm, a brain aneurysm. No one tells the truth what happened to my friend Esther. So even in her death, she's hidden, so to speak. Like the stigma of mental health and, and suicide is such a... It shouldn't be a stigma, right? We should, I'm not saying advertise it, right, but we shouldn't be ashamed of saying that, I'm not doing good at the moment. I need some help. You don't need to put a condition on it, right? You don't need to say I've got X, Y, Z. I'm just not doing good, right? It's okay to not be okay. And that stigma can get, smaller. Esther didn't get help sometimes here in Australia because she didn't want to be classed as having mental health, but she had mental health. She was scared of what people would think. She didn't tell people what was going on with her because she didn't want people to know that she had mental health. People around her, like myself, close friends, knew that she was struggling with her mental health, but she wasn't, completely doing anything to fix it. She was not taking her medication. She was drinking way too much alcohol. It worked out in the end. She was having tequila for breakfast. So that's not a happy person, right? Yeah, so anyway, it's getting quite dark, isn't it? Anyway, we're nearly done. And yeah, as I said, I just wanted to finish the 9Ks off and just, bring a bit of awareness. Oh, it's interesting the lights turned off. Normally those lights are on. It's a lot darker than it normally is. Just this section here. So, thanks for listening. I'm nearly back at the car. And yeah, I'm proud of myself for talking about Esther and not letting what happened to her, be silenced. She shouldn't be silenced. She should be talked about. And it's not just my friend Esther, right? There's many situations like this out there. I think that, a lot of us have been touched by suicide now, unfortunately. So I'm not alone. I just, openly talk about it. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But I will talk about it because I'm not going to let my friend just pass away and not really be remembered for what actually happened to her. So guys, I am back to my car. 9K's done. And walking for purpose, walking for Esther. Love you, Esther. Oh, I will do this forever for you, Esther. I miss you and you're my angel now on my shoulder. And I smile because I'm probably going to burst into tears any minute. Anyway, bye.